Hello, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this particular video on hearing your whispers. Now, we are all in a giant spiritual classroom, and it's so nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you through this technology. It is amazing technology when you think about it, that I can record this and upload it, and within hours you're able to watch it on the other side of the world free of charge. So that is an amazing thing. And I've done 140 YouTube videos now. I've got over 4,000 subscribers, and I'm very, very happy with the way everything's going. Sometimes, though, I get a little bit too ambitious for humanity, and I did make an earlier version of this one that just revealed too much too soon. I tend to be a bit ambitious to help people to become more of who they really are too quickly. I've written 2 books. First one is called What Really Matters, about the basics of astrology, meditation and reincarnation. I received an email this morning from a lady who said that that book is an incredible book and an incredible expansion of consciousness, and yet that is only the basics. And the other book, Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, is much deeper and goes into quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and so forth. I've been making these videos now for 18 months, and it's a wonderful way to be able to share my understanding with you. And with 4,000 subscribers now, it's great to have the opportunity to be of service to you all. So you just sit back and relax and enjoy the journey here with me. You know, it's absolutely amazing to think that all of our thoughts are recorded and all of our thoughts are observed by aspects of ourselves. Our higher self, our future self, they want us to grow and become more of who we really are. But you can imagine what it's like if you've got children of your own. You see a 7 or 8-year-old child of yours perhaps being selfish with one of the other children and grabbing a book from them, or grabbing a doll from them, or grabbing a toy from them and saying that's mine and not wanting to share. And so what do? You can't let them go on with that sort of behaviour because you know that that's antisocial. So you interfere and intervene. And it hurts to have to chastise them and to tell them that they're on the wrong track there, and you can't get away with doing things like that. Well, we've got aspects of our nature that are just like that, little children inside of ourselves, thought forms. And these thought forms are thought forms of self-pity and fear and anxiety and doubt and low self-esteem and aggressiveness, anger, shame and domination, manipulation, control. Look, all of these different parts of ourselves are all little mental lives that are living there within our aura. And these little lives want to do their thing. They're born to be angry. They're born to wallow in self-pity. They're born to wallow in self-punishment. They're born to wallow in guilt and shame and fear and anxiety and doubt and insecurity and low self-esteem. Our thoughts create these little lives, and these little lives are living in our aura, and they get a thrill of life when they're able to express themselves and become an event in our reality. But they're parts of ourselves. And we tend to think, when we're reflecting and thinking upon these things, and we allow our mind to go on to these negative aspects of ourselves, we tend to think, oh, nobody knows about it. I can wallow in this self-destructive or self-pitying behaviour, or this guilt or this fear or this shame or whatever, and nobody knows about it. But our higher self is a higher aspect of ourselves, and our future self is our higher aspect of ourselves, and they are charged with the task of helping us to become more of who we really are, just as you wanted to help your child to become more of who they really are in the social setting with other children and so forth, to be able to get on, be popular and everything. This is what your higher self is there for. Your higher self and your future self, they want you to become all that you can be and more, and they understand more about how much you are and who you really are. So they want to communicate with you. They want to communicate. Look, all of us are in the same boat. All of us are full of faults and weaknesses, and we all have problems controlling this conscious mind of ours. But every single time we allow the conscious mind to go onto these negative aspects of ourselves, we're redirecting energies that can be used in the higher aspects of ourselves, in our intuition, our higher mind, our abstract thinking, and the expression of love and tenderness and kindness and sympathy and tolerance and patience and trust and understanding and devotion and idealism and hope and joy and wonder and awe and magnificence. Look, I could go on forever here about the wonders and the beauty of of what's going on here. We're all in a giant spiritual classroom. It's important to understand that, and it's important to let that in, and that when you are using your conscious mind or allowing your conscious mind to be used by these smaller, younger little bits of yourself, wallowing in self-pity and fear and doubt and insecurity and self-punishment and guilt and shame and so forth, then you are allowing your conscious mind to use energy unwisely, not according to the law of economy. The law of economy states that all energy, time and money must be used wisely and economically and in accordance with the law of cause and effect and the law of economy. So I know that you think that you're getting away with all these thoughts inside of yourself and that nobody else knows about it, but your higher self knows about it. And they want to try and communicate to you. Now, they can't communicate to you by bellowing out some loud voice, even if you're in the room by yourself. If you heard a loud voice coming from somewhere, you'd have a heart attack. And so therefore, and if you're walking down the street and you're thinking something negative, your higher self calls out while you've got 100 people around you walking down the street with you. Your higher self calls out, "Hey, Jane, hey, Paul, you need to make some changes here." What sort of a shock would that bring to your system? So therefore, your higher self and your future self, they need to be able to communicate to you in ways that's not going to shock you, in ways that will allow you to reflect and think upon things. And so if you're not listening to the whispers that they're trying to portray for you, and they talk to you through the events and conditions of your life, if you've got any pain in your life, that pain is a result of the misuse of energy. If you've got any ill health, any problems with money, any difficulties with relatives, any problems in communication, any difficulties in security in the home environment, problems with children, problems with romance and love and the social side of life, problems with employment, difficulties with regard to intimates and spouse and partner, and difficulties making changes inside of yourself, problems with in-laws, difficulties in business, problems with government departments, problems with parents, difficulties with friends and through group activities. If you're experiencing pain in any of these areas of your life, then they are the whispers that are trying to tell you something about changes that are deemed to be necessary inside of yourself. So this is where the whispers are so important, to let them in and to become more of who you really are. And as we all grow and reach and stretch, and we do so through heaps of lifetimes, can't do it in one lifetime. We can't possibly become a perfected human being in one lifetime. And so we do so through a series of lifetimes. But the average person is having problems even handling and allowing in the fact that the planets can possibly have impact upon my personality, or the planets can possibly have impact upon the timing of events and conditions in my life, they say to themselves. That's a big enough thing to allow in, let alone to allow in that you've lived so many lives before and that you've got a future that's absolutely incredible. But these whispers are just so important, and that's what I want to talk with you about on this video, okay? Now, these messages come to us through our health and through other conditions and events in our life. So that if you are having problems with commencing and starting new projects and ideas and getting them to work out successfully, well, what's the obvious answer there? The obvious answer is that you're not planning things out and setting out a step-by-step process whereby you can bring the plan into manifestation as conditions and events in your life, not thinking the plan out clearly enough. If you're having problems with your money, then the obvious answer is that you're not budgeting wisely and you're not handling money wisely. And so you're rushing out there and spending money unwisely and so forth, and that's why you're having problems with finances. If you're having problems with motor vehicles, you've got to look to the third house of your horoscope, which is to do with communications. So if you are communicating in an angry and aggressive way and you're having problems with motor vehicles, problems with relatives, problems with neighbours, you can make the connection there. And if you're having problems with finances, it can show up as problems with the throat or the neck, stiff neck, problems with the neck, problems with the throat, and so forth. The third house rules the lungs and the bronchial system. And so you have problems with the lungs and the bronchial system. You look to the third house. Where am I communicating aggressively? Where am I not abiding by contracts and agreements that I've entered into with other people and with myself? Am I communicating in an aggressive and a dominating and a manipulating way? Am I being dishonest in my communications? Because if so, then there's going to be lung and bronchial trouble for you, or accidents on the road, or problems with motor vehicles and things like that. If you're having problems in the home and the family and the domestic side of life, not providing security for those who cohabitate with you in the home as your family and so forth, then you can have problems with the stomach and the digestive system. Stomach cancers can show up later in life and so forth because you're not providing a sense of security for those who are part of your family or part of the home environment. Or you're not allowing the home environment to be a peaceful and loving place because of aggression and domination and control. Now, if you're having problems with children, then it's perhaps you're not living up to your sense of responsibility to raise your children properly, and you're having problems in romance and love and the social side of life, overdoing it on the sexual side of life, overdoing it on the entertainment side of life and the recreational side of life. Well, this can show up as problems with the heart. You see, they're all connected. All of these various events and conditions in your life come back to you as whispers. You have heart trouble, you look to where you're having problems with children, where you're having problems in relationships. You're not allowing intimacy into your life. You're not being honest in relationships, getting involved in deceptive relationships and so forth. As far as the work is concerned, if you're having problems with employment, difficulties with regard to health, then you've got to look at, am I being of service to the community through my meaningful employment? Am I exercising regularly? Am I utilising wisdom in regard to the right type of diet? And so forth. So all of these things are there, and if you are abusing these aspects of your life with the wrong type of diet, no exercise, no meaningful employment, then it's going to come back on you with health problems, especially to do with the intestinal tract and so forth. If you're having problems in relationships and problems with your spouse or partner, you're cheating on your partner, or you're trying to dominate and manipulate and control your partner, or expressing too much aggression there with your partner and so forth, not being honest in communications with them, then that comes back on you as back and kidney trouble. So these are whispers from your reality to tell you that you're on the wrong track here, and this is how you correct the issue. In the medical profession, for example, there are technicians. Some of the medical practitioners are technicians, others are healers. The technician simply diagnoses the problem, writes a prescription, and off you go. The healer wants to look at causes there inside of yourself. You've got problems with your stomach, let's look at your diet. You've got problems with the back, let's look at what's going on in your life. You got problems here, let's look at the inner cause of this. You got problems with your eyesight, let's look at how much time that you're spending on the computer without getting a bit of far distance to look at and so forth. You're having problems with your blood pressure and so forth, then let's look at why you're overweight. What are the inner causes that are causing you to want to be overweight? Problems with your self-esteem, problems with the way that you think about yourself and the level of love that you have for yourself. So are you going to be just a technician in your life and observe symptoms? Or are you going to be a healer and look to causes there within yourself to make changes within yourself? That's ultimately what all of life is all about, is making changes inside of ourselves, expanding our consciousness about the nature of reality and our place in that reality, so that we can learn and understand about the wonderful gifts that God and Goddess have given us all. We don't have to be in pain. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to put up with ill health. We don't have to put up with unhappiness in relationships. We don't have to put up with stress and tension over money matters. We have the power inside of ourselves to live in an idyllic reality with all of our needs and wants provided. So ultimately we can go from fulfilling our wants and our needs to fulfilling our preferences. So are you going to be a technician who thinks in logical terms and in a linear world? Or are you going to be a healer and start thinking of exponentials beyond logical and linear thinking to the inner causes of problems in your life? Look beyond the symptoms of pain, fear and hurt in your life to the inner causes of that pain, fear and hurt in your life. Are you a technician or are you a healer? It's your conscious mind that we're talking about here. You're the one who's utilising these energies. And your conscious mind is under your control when you want it to be. The smaller, limited parts of yourself, the little baby parts of yourself that are the thought forms there that manifest as aggression and anger and shame and fear and guilt and self-pity and self-punishment and low self-esteem and shame and so forth. All of these are just junior lives. They're living within your body, living in your aura. You're the one who's in control of that conscious mind. Where are the energies that are coursing through your vehicles that come to you from the sun, from the planets, and from the earth itself? Where are these energies that are coursing through your vehicles that give you life? Where are those energies being utilised and expressed? Are they being utilised and expressed to your own detriment in terms of security financially, happiness with regard to personal initiatives, communications that are loving and uplifting and spiritualizing to other people? Are you providing a home environment that is a place of love and tenderness and kindness and forgiveness and sympathy and empathy and tolerance and patience and trust? Are you enjoying your relationship with your children? Are you having happiness in relationships and on the social side of life? Are you enjoying meaningful work? Are you enjoying exercise and right diet because you love yourself? Are you enjoying security in partnerships and relationships of an intimate nature? Metaphysics is growing up. This is a simple statement, but it has a profound depth about it, a grand profundity that you must allow in. Metaphysics is growing up. At one end of the spectrum of metaphysics is the hobbyist, who gets involved because it's a new thing, and they attend a few meetings and do a few meditations once or twice a week, attend a couple of meetings, but they're a hobbyist. When it comes to the nitty-gritty of their life, they revert to linear thinking and the law of cause and effect. They like it because it's new and different, for its entertainment value. Then there are those who see metaphysics as a great way to make money. So they talk the talk and they walk the walk. But as far as belief in metaphysics and actually practice in their lives of metaphysics, they revert to linear thinking. And all of the metaphysics goes out the window. They're just bandwagoneers who are in there just simply to make the money. Come see the alligator man. Come see the bearded lady, they say from their tents, metaphorically speaking. Slowly but surely, however, metaphysics is growing up, and all the hobbyists are all going to fade away, and all of the bandwagoneers are going to have to fold up their tents and go on with the next fad in their life. Metaphysics is growing up, and it's time for you to jump on the bandwagon of growth and expansion of consciousness. That's the name of the game, and that's what all the whispers are all about. Whispers that become shouts if you don't hear them, and eventually become screams in the form of ill health, crises with our family, crises in relationships, crises with work, crises in personal relationships, crises of a variety of different natures. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn to make adjustments and changes within ourselves and to listen to those whispers before they become shouts, and most certainly before they become screams? You deserve better than that. You have a tremendous amount of power there inside of yourself that's wanting to get out. You have a lot of goodness, truth and beauty there inside of yourself that wants to express itself. You've got a lot of power, strength and talent there inside of yourself that needs to unfold. You are a beautiful person. You are on the crest of the wave of evolution. You are a pioneer. You are a map maker. The very fact that you're watching this video puts you in the top 100 million people in the planet. And that's only 1.5% of the population of the world. 100 million, it sounds like a lot of people, but it's only 1.5%. So it's time now for all of us to listen to the whispers that are coming to us from our reality, because they are whispers that are coming from our higher self, that piece of God and Goddess that you are becoming, that future self that contains all of your futures in this particular lifetime. And it wants you to grow and reach and stretch and become all that you can be and more. And what's going to be left after the hobbyists have all gone and faded away, and all of the bandwagoneers have folded up their tents and moved on? What's going to be left when metaphysics is growing up? What's going to be left is people like yourself who are ready to know and understand the laws that we all live within here in our space-time rule set, and to realize that you have the power not only to change your life, but to change the whole world. You have that power inside of yourself. You can change the reality that your children are experiencing. You can heal their hurts. You can heal their pain in relationships. You can heal their difficulties in life through your meditation. You can heal your family members. You can heal your relationship with those that you work with. You can heal because you have that power inside of yourself. It's time for us to see our spirituality as a vibrant force in our life. It's time now to bring your metaphysics and your spirituality into your world initially, to heal, to balance the imbalances, and ultimately to heal the world. Make no mistake about it, you have the power inside of yourself to heal the world. The days of standing up on soapboxes and trying to convert people and so forth to a particular line of thinking are finished. In this day of metaphysics, we change first ourselves and then we change the world. It reminds me of a story that I tell in one of my books about somebody who was, the map of the world was torn into pieces and thrown all over the floor. And they were set the task of being able to put all of those pieces back together again to make the world right. And what they found was on the back of that image of the world was a man, the image of a man. And so they found that if they put the pieces of the man back together again and then turned it over, the world was right. So that was the message that was there, that in order to make the world right, we first must make the man right, or the woman right. Your world has been whispering to you. Listen to the whispers. Don't let them become shouts, and please don't let them become screams. It's time now for your metaphysics and your spirituality to go from being a main priority to being the priority in your life. Your world has been whispering to you. Listen to the whispers. Listen to your metaphysics. Listen to your spirituality. Turn inward to find outward solutions. This is what your world has been telling you. This is the message that your reality is trying to convey to you. Our world is now shouting at us. Make those changes interiorly so that you can be a contributing factor in making those changes exteriorly. What is a whisper? It is a message. It is a message about you, to you, that comes through you. It comes through you via health issues and through you via the conditions and events that you are creating. You have 3 minds that I will mention here to you. First is the conscious mind. It deals with the context and the content of your physical world and your physical reality. It does that with your raw materials, your attitudes, your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings, and the decisions and choices that spring from those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings. Make no mistake about it, your reality and all of the conditions and events of your life, including everybody who's in your life, is a reflection of your raw materials. You create your own reality. Nobody is doing it to you. That's what the conscious mind does to create the content and to fit it against the backdrop and context of your life as events and conditions. You have a subconscious mind that deals with the inner part of your being, those raw materials, and that capacity to make changes and adjustments to those raw materials through the power of your conscious mind. You can redirect the direction of your conscious mind with regard to those raw materials. So instead of wallowing in pain and fear and anxiety and doubt and insecurity and problems with self-image, low self-esteem and guilt and so forth, you can change the direction of your mind, because there is a law in the universe that energy follows thought. And so when your conscious mind is attracted to those thoughts that are there, those baby thoughts inside of yourself that wants to express the anger, that wants to express the guilt, that wants to express the shameful events and conditions that you're creating, that wants to express that anger and that fear and doubt and insecurity and low self-esteem and problems with self-image and so forth, it's up to you to say, like you said to the child, when the child was taking the doll from another child, or taking the book from the other child, or whatever, or the toy. You said, no, that's not the right way to do it. That's not going to see you grow up as a socially cohesive person. And so therefore you made those adjustments. Well, you've got to do the same. You have that adult inside of yourself, that spiritual part of yourself that can see where these energies are being utilised, and to say, have the strength and the will and the determination to say, no, I will not allow my energy of my mind to go onto that line of thinking anymore, and to arrest it and to redirect that line of thinking to the positive, to the love and the wonder and the awe and the magnificence of the gifts that God and Goddess have bestowed upon us all. We are so fortunate. We've been given the gift of eternal life. We can never ever die. God and Goddess love you for no reason at all. They love you just because of who you are. And they want you to become all that you can be and more. Don't you want your children to become all that they can be and to be successful and to grow up and to be vibrant members of the community? Well, your higher self and your future self and God, Goddess, all that is, wants you to become more of who you really are and to become all that you can be and more. So it's nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you. Subscribe to my videos. 4,000 subscribers now. That is absolutely fantastic. And go to my website regularly, see what's on offer there. And I'm happy to be able to help you through the CDs when you submit your birth details through the Your Horoscope page of my website. I send you your horoscope chart together with 12 CDs out of my first book, What Really Matters. And you get a whole lot of other goodies there that are sent to you by email, all free of charge. And then for only $10 you can get horoscope number 2 done, which is a look at your personal horoscope chart in a lot more depth. Not just from the sun sign or your rising sign, but from the location of the moon, which rules your emotions, Mercury, which rules your mind, Venus, which rules your love nature, Mars, which rules your energy levels, Jupiter, which rules your higher mind, Saturn, your practicality, Uranus, your intuition, Neptune, your spirituality, and Pluto, your capacity to transform yourself. For $10, I tell you where all of these planets were at the time of your first breath. There won't be another person born with that same configuration for another 25,000 years, so you are quite an individual. And that 20-page report that I send to you for only $10 tells you where all of these planets are by sign, by house placement, and by aspect that they form with each other. And that informs you about how you're going on this path of spiritual growth. How are you growing and reaching and stretching? Are you fulfilling what you want to do, what your higher self wants you to do, what your future self wants you to do? What qualities, principles and values are you working on in this particular lifetime? What blockages are you trying to eliminate within yourself? It's important to understand these things, and for only $10 you get that horoscope number 2. So submit your birth details through Your Horoscope page of my website, which has already popped up on the screen here for you. And let's have some fun together, and let's grow and reach and stretch and help you to become all that you can be and more. So I thank you for your attentiveness here and look forward to working further with you should you decide to come with me. Thank you.